Welcome in to another episode of Share the Chalk, a basketball webcast designed with the intention to give coaches with all types of experiences a platform to share their knowledge. As always, I want to start with my goal when beginning this webcast. It was to bring on individuals who I believe are truly adding value and will continue to add value to the basketball community and the coaching community. Today, we bring on a guy who I've gotten to know over the past 3 years who I really believe is one of the best. He was a former California Coach of the Year while at Palisades High School in Los Angeles, where he led his team to 4 CIF city championships, along with 7 state tournament appearances. Currently now the head women's basketball coach at Cal State Los Angeles. He's learned from some of the best, and we'll get into that here today in today's conversation. Welcome on Torino Johnson from sunny Los Angeles. Got by far the best background of anybody we've had with those palm trees. How you doing, Torino?
Doing well, man. How about yourself? And thank you for having me.
Oh, things are great here in Kansas. We're just trying to get better, trying to learn, and trying to connect every day, along with trying to build this roster for next year's team.
Oh, yeah, you
First,
guys got the right staff, so you'll be just fine.
first, I just want to start with your story. You know, kind of tell us where you started, where you've been, and where you're at now.
Well, um, I started at the high school level at the freshman, sophomore level. So that's ninth and 10th graders. And I was coaching on the boys and the girls side simultaneously. So the seasons never were in the same semester. So you had one team, the boys team that would play in the fall, and then you'd have the girls who would play in the spring. So kind of an old school approach, but it allowed me to really coach 4 teams in essence at the same time. And so um, that was the beginning of me coaching at Palisades Charter High School. So when you're charged with so many tasks, you're wearing so many different hats, and that sped up like a basketball maturity because you can have let's say you have four teams. One of those teams isn't going to be as successful as the other, and so you figure out what's needed. And along that journey, I would also jump into different coaching camps and attend different clinics. So you're doing all of these things at the same time. So you got your fall, you got your spring for 2 different teams, and then you have the summer. And so that went on for 3 years of me coaching at the lower levels of freshmen, sophomores, um, and in addition to summertime coaching camps and clinics. And so, um, fortunately for me, UCLA is not too far from Pacific Palisades. I want to say it's like 7 minutes with traffic, and I was able to gain an incredible relationship with Coach John Wooden, and so um, that happened just from me being readily available to attend basketball camps and help. And I didn't do it with the mindset of, hey, I'm going to meet John Wooden. I did it because I knew I needed to improve, and I was coaching at the lower level, and I just wanted to be a better coach. So, with that relationship, um, Coach Wooden would attend certain games of mine and critique me, give me different feedback. And at some point in that, after that 3rd year of coaching both boys and girls frost soft basketball, an opportunity presented itself as the head basketball coach for the girls. And so I took that on, and you know, building a program was difficult, but I won't complain about the challenges because I had incredible mentorship and incredible guidance along the way. So, like I said, Coach Wooden being visible at games, and then going back to his Encino condo and getting what I thought was going to be a thorough basketball breakdown. Those things didn't occur. We would talk about a demeanor as a coach. The representation, what is visible, what is visibility, um, how to, uh, you know, work on the coaching ethos. What's the philosophy behind it? What's the self management in it? And I can tell you, as a younger coach, I wasn't too thrilled at the time because I was just focused on whether I was winning or losing. So we have these talks after a loss, and I'm like, man, like give me give me the golden whistle stuff. Give me the beyond the whistle stuff. Like, come on, man. Like give me the X's and O's. Like, what is it I need to do with Katie and Jane? And he's like, it's not about X's and O's. Like, you got to focus on uh, the Jimmys and Joes of this game. Like, how do they learn from you? How are you posturing yourself? And so, that's one of the nuggets I took away from Coach Wooden, is to be more patient in my approach. And I want to say it took 3 more years of us going through those ups and downs. And then in that fourth year for me as a head coach, we won a championship. And so along that journey, you still attend basketball camps, you still attend clinics. So in addition to attending the UCLA basketball camps, um, I was able to do work and attend camps at for the Michael Jordan Flight School. And so that created different relationships. Some I already had, and then some that just were able to become stronger due to my visibility at those camps, which is something I learned from Coach Wooden about being visible. Don't just be there, be visible, and you do so by doing the right things. So, um, caught the eye of Coach George Raveling. Again, great mentor, great friend, great father figure for me. Um, Still in my life, still interact all the time. And you're on the court, you're coaching. Michael Jordan is there, he sees you, you interact, and you grow a relationship. Um, and then those relationships intertwine because Michael Jordan, George Raveling, they already have a previous relationship that has nothing to do with you. Their relationship stems back to a point in time where you weren't even thought of. And so you enter this picture, and for one guy to endorse you, the other guy endorses you, and they follow up on what you're doing in your career. And, you know, um, within that span of time, I become a USA basketball coach, right? But everyone always like pinpoints the whole like you won championships. It wasn't the championships. It was the ability to go to these camps. It was the ability to go to these clinics, and coming out of pocket to attend the clinics, volunteering to work at camps for free so that you could ensure that you'd have a position at the camp. It's not about the 200 to 500, $600 that you're going to receive for the camp. It's just based on the duration. And so for me, it's been taking on a position of learn it all. And in that, you you build these incredible relationships. And so, you know, working and coaching at these camps has been part of the secret sauce. It's been I get in there and you learn from Kevin Eastman, grow a relationship. So it isn't just showing up at in being a camp counselor or camp coach. It's who are you intentionally growing a relationship with once you get there. And if you do those things properly, it propels you to coach your team better because those coaches have so much wisdom, so much knowledge, and you're going to figure out a way to ask the right questions. And it comes from a sincere and genuine place. Coach, I just don't know. What do you guys do? What's a practice look like under your leadership? And so when they're breaking that down and you should be taking notes, you'll go back, read your notes, figure out what fits your personnel, and then in my case, win again. And so the more you're able to show improvement in a program, like what do you do with it? Like how do you make it valuable? How do you um, put your philosophy um, in tune with your players and your coaches? And so I think a lot of the older coaches that I've been fortunate to interact with, it began at the camps and clinics. They weren't just flocking into the Palisades to see what I was doing as a basketball coach. There was nothing special about that particular program that would say, hey, come on and attend or attend a game at Palisades. And so from just yesterday, the conversation I had with Bernie Bickerstaff, and we're breaking down again what the philosophy is in these things, because those questions uh, never fully get answered. You have your philosophy, he has his. And so you're getting him to share his philosophy. And it would be no different if you and I are talking and you're going to tell me about your philosophy. And each person has that unique balance. And so I've been able to interact with some really incredible basketball people, not just the ones that we know based on name recognition, but there's some young up and coming coaches, and our job, which I've learned from the Woodens and the George Ravelings, is to identify their greatness early. And if you do that, then you start to understand how to build the necessary bridges in this profession, and you'll hire properly because you'll look at the people that have been in those camps with you, who've been in those clinics with you. So those are the coaches that you want to hire, not just somebody that has access to you and can send you a message on the wide range of or variety of social media platforms. So it's actually getting out, doing the work, and that speeds up um, the appropriate process because you're learning. So you as a high school basketball coach, I said, hey, I want to be challenged, and I went to a local junior college that I felt I could help volunteer with. And I did that with a lady named Colleen Matahara for 2 years. And it was one of the hardest coaching assignments I've ever had in my life. And I didn't understand it at first because I just jumped right into it. And she's incredible. She's an incredible coach and an incredible mentor. And that particular piece helped me advance to the collegiate realm where I started off as an assistant under Cheryl Miller. And that position wouldn't have happened for me had Colleen Matsuhara not been friends and a mentor to Cheryl Miller. So you connect that as I talk about building bridges. That was a bridge that was built unbeknownst to me. Had no idea they had a relationship. Again, that lends itself back to a time before I was even thought of. So you 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 end up just showing up, which I talked about with Coach Wooden, the visibility, um, and just doing the right things. I just went over there, genuinely thought I could lend a hand, thought I could get out there, assist her on the day-to-day operations, learn some of the managerial things. And at that time, I was winning championships. So no job was beneath me. It wasn't like I was coming in there with a shirt and a hat on that said I had won X amount of championships. I never set out to win X amount of championships. I just wanted to be the best possible coach I could be. And that stems from a solid foundation of having incredible coaches step in and guide me properly.